What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Hot Take Tuesday. Episode 14 of Season 2 is officially here. And we got 6 hot takes from the Discord server. So if you would like to be featured in the future, join the Discord server, like, subscribe, put that post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. A great place. We're building a community. We're building an empire. If you want to be part of something great, get in now before it's very populated. Because we're growing here pretty fast. And become a part of something great. I don't just like hitting that record button, leaving and being like, nah, hell with them. Nah, I like getting you guys involved, and that is why I love this series so much. So enough with that blabber, because we have a few hot takes, and last week the episode was 40 minutes long. So I want to see how, not necessarily how quick we can get done, but just try and limit it not to 40 minutes. I don't want it to be that long, but if it's 40 minutes, it's 40 minutes. What I could do, what can I do? But first hot take from Joshua Kissinger. Anthony Richardson wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. So let's look at the odds. I am taking odds from Sports Betting Dime, and we're going to compare them to some of these players. I've got quite a few players here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I wrote down 9 player odds, and Anthony Richardson is actually number 3. First one, Bijan Robinson. He's going to get the ball so much. He's going to be such a huge part of that offense, so it would not surprise me if Bijan won it. He's going to have so much volume, so many yards. I think he's going to be fantastic right out the gate. So Bijan would not surprise me. Bryce Young would not surprise me. He's a very good quarterback. He's not scared of getting hit. He will stand in that pocket and deliver throws. And coming from an Alabama team that has not been as good as years past that, quarterbacks like Tua came out from, I think he's already very well prepared. I think he's already going to be polished, but you can't be polished too much as a rookie. You're polished only so much. You only got so much under you. But now, against the time in the preseason, looked all right in the preseason, looking good. So Bryce Young at plus 500, Anthony Richardson at 3, and then you got CJ Stroud behind him. So Anthony Richardson has the running ability over Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, but those other two have much more refined techniques in terms of passing the ball. They have experience. So it's how fast can Anthony Richardson develop and how electric can he be on the ground. If he could be electric and very dynamic on the ground, it may not take a ton for him. It might not take a ton for him to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. It may not take a ton in the passing game, in the passing department of his game, to secure the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. And then you have Jahmyr Gibbs. Surprised he's lower than he is. He's going to have a huge role, and the Lions love running the football. They like their smash mouth football. Great offensive line. JSN is at plus 1,500. With JSN, there's too much volume in that offense. You got great running backs. Seahawks like to run the ball, and you got Metcalf, Lockett. You have a lot of volume in that offense, and I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be very good, especially with an accurate quarterback with Geno Smith. All the experience he has. He's been in the league for quite some time. I think JSN is going to have a very good year. Offensive Rookie Year caliber. Yes, but there's other players that are just going to have better rookie years than JSN. Jordan Addison at plus 1,700. I don't expect Jordan Addison to be running. Quentin Johnson plus 2,200. The Chargers rookie receiver. And then you have Zay Flowers, who is another rookie receiver who is at plus 3,000. So all of these guys, I think there's 4 or 5 guys that are really in this running. You have Bijan, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, and I'll put Jahmyr Gibbs in there. So 5 people. I think it's going to be between those 5 people. I don't see anyone else being in the race, but you do have Will Levis, a quarterback. He is plus 4,000, but he's probably not going to start. No, he's not going to start. Ryan Tannehill will be the one to start. So Will Levis, if he's not even going to start, not even going to play a full season, it's going to be very difficult to win Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I'm going to go cold. And by the way, if you don't know our rating system, we start, ice. It's an icy take. It's going to happen. It's probably guaranteed. It's, don't hold your breath. Going to happen. Chili. All right, you're getting a little, it's very likely to happen. Very likely. Cold. It's likely to happen, but I can see why it won't. Warm is kind of like the opposite way around. It probably won't happen, but I can see why it could. Maybe cold and warm should kind of just be like, nah. Hot means like, all right, all right, you're starting to get a little wild. I get it. I can kind of see where you're coming from. I can maybe see a scenario where that will happen. And then piping hot, go back to bed, go back to sleep. You're wild. You're out of this world. Don't take it offensive, though. Out of this world isn't really like... you can take it how you want to. But piping hot is just like, you're wild. It's absolutely crazy. It's probably almost guaranteed not to happen. So I'm going cold with this one. Think, I can see it happening, but I could also see it not happening, really. And then Anthony Richardson starting as well. He's going to be in the entire year. So it's an even bigger win for him. That's a bigger chance for him to win it. And then you got Gold 4307. Tyrique Stevenson will have 5 interceptions. So this is the rookie out of Miami. This is a rookie cornerback out of Miami. He's really a man coverage cornerback, in my opinion. He's got a good frame. He's 6 foot, 198 pounds. He has 33-inch arms, big wingspan. So he's got a really impressive frame. He's a really physical corner. He can recover. He's got speed. He's instinctive. He's really good at tackling. He's really a physical type of corner. But he kind of struggles in man coverage. No, he's really good at man coverage. He's got a lot of work to do in man coverage. He really struggles covering over the middle of the field. He is good at man coverage. It's on a straight line, like if it's a streak or if it's an out route. But once it comes to covering the inside, if he doesn't have inside help, he's really going to struggle. And on top of that, he's not really a coverage corner. So, he's a young cornerback. I believe the Bears picked him up as well. So, in the 3rd round, it was the Bears. Was good in college. He was productive. He had quite a few interceptions. There's a lot to like about him. Could get a lot of pass breakups. Can recover, as I mentioned. Also, another thing is he's not very shifty. He's gonna struggle on those in breaking routes on the breaks, and he's also very handsy. Had a lot of penalties. Gets his hands involved too much, and especially when he's getting beat. So, having 5 interceptions, I think he could. I don't think Tyrique Stevenson is going to be a flashy cornerback. I think he's going to be a good cornerback, a solid day 1 cornerback. Maybe he could be, but he can absolutely turn into a pretty good cornerback. But 5 interceptions, I'm going to go piping hot. I think it's wild. I think it's a little crazy. He's a rookie, got a lot to work on. I was not high on Tyrique Stevenson coming out. Not high on him. He's got a lot to work on. And as every rookie coming in, they have. None of them are polished or all ready, but Tyrique Stevenson, man, 5 interceptions. I'm going piping hot. That's a little wild. All right, next hot take we have here is from Silversabs. His hot take is DeVante Smith has a better year than Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, and Mike Evans. So I can absolutely see DeVante Smith having a better year than Chris Olave. I like Olave. I think he's a very good route runner, good hands. Lots to like about Olave. There's a lot to like about Olave, and I could see him being better than both of those guys, or than Chris Olave, because it's a better system around him as well. Both of them are gonna struggle with volume. There's a lot of volume in both offenses, in the Saints and the Eagles, but in general, I don't see him having a better season than Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans. Garrett Wilson's going to take the next step up with Aaron Rodgers. He has an even better quarterback. He's a great route runner, great hands. We actually thought that Chris Olave was going to be the better receiver coming out. I actually thought so, but Garrett Wilson has proved me wrong, and Garrett Wilson has looked very good. He looked incredible his rookie year. I'm pretty sure he was Offensive Rookie of the Year. Great player. And Garrett Wilson's going to, if he takes the next step up, if there's a receiver that really takes that next step in the sophomore year, it's Garrett Wilson. And I think DeVante Smith is a very good receiver, incredible route runner. I think he's one of the best route runners in the league. But honestly, I take Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's gonna have a better season. Last but not least, Mike Evans. I feel like people they forget how good Mike Evans is. Even before Brady, the dude was putting up he's had. He has the most 1,000 yards consecutively in was it 8, 9, 10, 11 seasons? I don't know how long he's been in, but I know he broke the record for 1,000 yard seasons for consecutive years. Mike Evans is so underrated. He's so disrespected. I love Mike Evans. Great receiver. He really is. He's getting older, but I don't see the decline like a lot of people do. I don't see it. He's still a phenomenal receiver. He's that deep, he's that contested guy. Throw it up to him. He's going to go up and find a way to bring it down. He's a great player. He's a great receiver. I think I had him at 10 in my receiver rankings, but, he's consistent every single year in, year out. He'll get you 10 touchdowns. He'll get you 1,000 yards. How many receivers could you say that about? Not a lot. Not a lot. But I'd absolutely take Mike Evans and Garrett Wilson over DeVante Smith for next year. Chris Olave, I can see, I can take over him, but Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans, I love those. And I'm not just being biased. Those two are incredible receivers. And Mike Evans, number 10, but Garrett Wilson, if there's a guy that really takes the next step, there's a guy that really breaks out, as if he didn't have a great season last year. You look at the quarterback that was thrown to Garrett Wilson. I don't even know if Mike White was there last year. If Mike White, whoever the heck was there, is that Zach Wilson, horrible quarterback situation. Yet Garrett Wilson had an incredible rookie year, incredible. Chris Olave had a pretty good quarterback. I honestly think Andy Dalton is all right. I don't see, he was not that horrible last year. He was serviceable. He was enough. He did make mistakes here and there. He's not great, but he's a quarterback that's going to give you a chance to win every single game. But Mike Evans, man, people be sleeping on Mike Evans. Just because he's getting older, just because, he doesn't have Tom Brady now, doesn't mean he's going to be worse. He's still one of the best receivers in the league. He really is. Really is. He'll go out there and catch you 10 touchdowns, 1,000 receiving yards. Big-time moments. And I don't see the decline. I don't see why people are just bringing it up, because there's none. There's no decline. There's none. But with this one, I'm going to go... Oh, shoot, I didn't even write this one down in terms of, looking it up and such, but... where are we going to go? DeVante Smith has a better season than so we're going to put it all into one, that he's going to have a better season than all three. I'm going to go piping hot. Yeah, I'm going to go piping hot because Mike Evans is incredible. Garrett Wilson, very good receiver, awesome receiver, especially what he did last year with the quarterback situation. DeVante Smith, yeah, there was a lot of volume in that offense. He still had 1,000 receiving yards. Also had a great situation. So I think that factors into a little bit, but you can't take away that he was great last year and he has a lot of great traits. It's just these other guys, other than Chris Olave, have done better, with worse. Maybe Garrett Wilson hasn't done better in numbers-wise, but with what he had to work with, I'd say he did better. I'd say Mike Evans is incredible. Even before TB12, he was still killing it. And it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. He's going to kill it. Mike Evans, very underrated. But, yeah, I think it's piping hot to say he's going to be better than all three. Now, Chris Olave, I'd go cold. I think it's likely. Garrett Wilson, I'd go warm. Hot. Mike Evans, I go piping because Evans is incredible. He's an incredible receiver, man. I mean, it's not that wild. Maybe Mike Evans should be hot. But Evans is an incredible receiver. Stop sleeping on him. All right. Next one we got here. Is this our third hot take? We had Silversabs, Gold. Yeah, no. So this is our fourth. Okay. So Michael Messiah. Tell me how you say it in the comments if you're watching the premiere or whatever. Give me your pronunciation. But he's actually a new one. We've been having a lot of the same people on Hot Take Tuesday, which is awesome. It shows the consistency. It shows how great they are. But we have a new hot take from a new participant. It's pretty cool. We're growing, man. So Texans receiver John Metiche will win Comeback Player of the Year. Yeah, I think I'm going to go piping hot right out the gate. I know I usually like to explain it before saying piping hot, but sometimes I like to just give it off right away. And you look at the Comeback Player of the Year odds, you have Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin's probably going to win it. The dude was damn near dead. He was really brought back on the field. So, him coming back, that shows a lot from Damar Hamlin. I'm happy to see that he was in that preseason game. That was one of the best things that I noticed in that preseason game, between the Colts and the Bills. Damar Hamlin out there, and he was healthy and able to play after almost dying on the football field. He came back playing hard. Obviously a tremendous amount of work had to go into that. So much respect, and just perseverance that he had, that you have to have going through something like that. Doctors are probably like, for a while there, it's like, is he going to be able to play football again? And, with him having an almost near-death experience playing it, it's like, yeah, he's probably not going to. But here he is, proving a lot of people wrong. And I see him winning it. I see Damar Hamlin winning it. But you got Tua, and I'm still using sports betting dime. But Damar's odds for winning comeback player of the year is minus 285. That's like guaranteed. They're kind of like guaranteeing it to him. Then you got Tua plus 2,000. Don't know if he's going to stay healthy. We'll talk about him more in a little bit. Russell Wilson plus 2,000. He's not going to turn back the clock like a lot of people think. I think, he showed life when Nathaniel Hackett was fired. Wilson just, man, he's past his time. Lamar Jackson 2,500. Breece Hall. And then John Metiche is actually 6. Wait. Metiche's the one that was struggling with the cancer stuff too, wasn't he? John Metiche. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. John Metiche. Yeah, he had that leukemia. So he's coming back from something that's very difficult to come back from as well. So I didn't mean to really downplay that he came back from such a serious illness and something such, but I just completely forgot that he was the one that dealt with that. And, coming back from that, it's incredible. He worked his butt off, all that perseverance, all that work, just like, nah, man, this ain't going to stop me. I'm going to keep fighting. He's coming back to football, and he's a very talented receiver. Very talented receiver. But it seems like Damar Hamlin's going to take it. And I was thinking about saying hot out of respect now, but I think I'm going to go piping hot. I'm just going to be realistic and be like, yeah, I think Damar Hamlin's really got this one in the bag. Especially if he stays healthy and he plays at a decent level all year. He doesn't have to play at a wild high level, but the fact, John Metiche came back from a lot too, but yeah, both are very difficult to come back from. And I'm not trying to compare the situations. It's not really what I'm trying to do here. It's kind of a tough thing to talk about because you don't want to, kind of downplay, a guy coming back from cancer and then, and a guy that's near death. It's a very difficult situation to talk about because you don't want to go in the gray area. It's a very hard thing to talk about because I don't want to, disrespect any of them, because I'm not going to mean it. I don't mean it if I did by accident, but John Metiche winning comeback player of the year. I'm going to go piping hot. Okay. Now we have our hot take from Tones. He says that Miami is the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's his prediction. And the Dolphins have a pretty good team. It's the biggest question for me is, can Tua stay healthy? What Tua are we going to get? Because the year prior to last year, he was looking pretty good. He was making some pretty big steps up. His accuracy's getting better. He's getting better at just knowing when and where to throw the football to. When to throw the football, where to throw it to. And, last year, of course, he was looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Suffered that head injury and came back and, it's something very difficult to come back from and it's not easy. It's me, I was thinking this man shouldn't really be playing football again. He gets, if he has another 1 or 2 bad hits to the head, it wouldn't surprise me if he's already going to be dealing with some kind of brain injuries down the road, like a while down after football. Remember, once you hit 30, you're considered old in football. Take care of yourself, but he loves the game. And I respect the heck out of it. And I respect that he's still playing. Not a lot of players would. Would I? Probably not, honestly, because you realize you get old at 30. But if you truly love the game, you're going to truly enjoy your time that you're spending here while you're here. So I get it. He loves it. He doesn't want to leave it. And that shows a lot as a leader. And it's something for the locker room to look up to as well. So what tour are we going to get? That's question number one. That's a pretty big question. Number two, you have to have a better record. You have to be a better team than the Bills. You have to have a better record than the Chiefs. And I think, with Jalen Ramsey out, they're going to need a few, they're going to need one of their young guys, Noah Igbenogany. I can't say his name. They're going to need Cam Smith. They're going to need someone to really step up at a young age. And I think Cam Smith can be very good. I've heard that Cam Smith has been doing very well in camp. So I like Cam Smith. I always have liked Cam Smith, and I think he's going to be a good corner for the Dolphins, and that's a great spot for him. You got Javon Holland in the backfield. Linebackers are the defensive line is pretty incredible. Christian Wilkins. Jalen Phillips is an incredible. I think he's going to break out this year. He's my pick. I think he's a guy that can go from being, he's pretty good, to like a household NFL name. I really can see Jalen Phillips becoming that kind of guy. That kind of player for the Dolphins. So they have a lot of really good pieces, but for me, if you're going to be a number one seed and you have to outcompete and be better than the Chiefs, the Bills, I think these questions are too much. They're too serious. I think they're too many questions, But you look at the Chiefs, they have a lot of questions, but quarterback will never be one of them. Same thing for the Bills. Quarterback will most likely never be one of them. Josh Allen, I do think the Bills are going to take a step back this year. I think they're going to take a little step back. Josh Allen, he's shown that once Josh Allen gets frustrated, once he gets knocked out of the zone, he's mad, he doesn't play very well. And he's been struggling with that. It's been very difficult for him to rebound, to refocus. Kind of like he stays mad, and then you're not taking the short stuff. You're not doing the little things right. So we'll see how Josh Allen can rebound if he gets better at that, because that's something that a leader needs to have. And he didn't seem like he had it at times last year. Like he was letting his emotions really take over. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go hot. I'm not going piping, because it's not crazy. I can see the Dolphins being the number one seed. But they just have too many big questions for me. If Tua can play like he did last year, if he can stay healthy, you got wild weapons, Waddle, Hill, so many great aspects to this team. The offensive line is not as bad as you may think. It's not as bad as I thought before I looked into it. I'm going to go hot, though. I'm going to go hot because they have a lot of questions, and the AFC is just slow. And then you have the Bengals as well. The Bengals do have a lot of questions. They have quite a few. The offensive line is one for me. Losing Jessup Bates is another one for me. But quarterback will never be the question. Will never be the reason why. And that's what I think is the biggest question for the Dolphins, is Tua's health. And which Tua will we get? I believe that's the biggest question we are going to be asking. And it's a pretty big question to be asking, to be like, yeah, they're going to be number one seed. But I can see it. It's just too many questions. There's too many questions to predict them to be a number one seed. And a lot of those questions, sometimes number one seeds don't come with those kind of questions normally. Could be wrong. I could see Miami winning the division. I could see the Jets winning the division. I could see a world where the Jets and the Dolphins dominate and the Bills number 3. But the Bills still have a pretty damn good season. Let's say they have 10, 11 wins, but the Jets, let's just say the Jets and the Dolphins have 11, 12 wins. This division could be wild. The Patriots are more than capable of getting 8, 9 wins. This division is going to be very good. This is one of the better divisions in the NFL. So it's going to be really tough to be going through those teams. Because that's another thing I didn't really think about. But going through the AFC East, you have to go through the Bills twice, the Jets twice, and the Patriots twice. So they're probably not going to have that great of a record. Well, it's probably be a good record. I think that, it's the Tua thing. It's the questions. It's all going to come back to those big questions. But I'm going to go hot. And last but not least, from LCCJS27, Chargers finish with a losing record So the Chargers have a really tough schedule. I took a look at the schedule, and I'm like, wow, that's a tough schedule. I don't think they really did much to improve the run defense, which has been their problem the last couple of years. Defense, could J.C. Jackson bounce back? I believe they have Asante Samuel Jr. too, who has been showing a lot of really good flashes, who's shown to be really good, shown to be a pretty good corner. But the receivers are solid. You have a lot of receivers. Mike Williams, he can stay healthy. Keenan Allen is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. You got the running backs are solid. Austin Eckler is an incredible back. I believe they drafted someone too. I can't get it from the top of my head. Let me get it looked up real quick. Well, let's just look at the Chargers depth chart. Chargers depth chart. And by the way, I'm using Our Lads depth chart. It is much better than the ESPN depth chart because it actually shows you all the players. ESPN only shows you like the top 4 of each position, but Our Lads will show you every single player on the entire depth chart. And how they acquired the player, if they're a rookie, it'll be in bold. Our Lads is a great site. I've been using Our Lads over ESPN for depth charts. Much better. I really like it. But yeah, for the running backs, I thought they had a rookie. Elijah Dotson. Not really one that was. Joshua Kelly's good. Isaiah Spiller, that's the guy I was thinking of. He was drafted last year. So they have some good backs back there. They have some good players. It's just a matter of fact of, can Justin Herbert's numbers translate to wins? Now, it's not all his fault because it is a team effort. The defense is pretty bad. The run defense is pretty horrible. It's really difficult to win games versus good football teams, versus any football team, if you cannot stop the run. If no matter what you're doing, trying to stop the run, and you just cannot, you're going to struggle. It's going to be very difficult to win football games. Running the football is the easiest thing to do. If you can't stop that, you're going to have a much harder time stopping the pass game as well. Pass defense won't be as good because the entire defense will be on their toes trying to stop the run every time. But, I don't think it's all Herbert's fault. But if you look back to that Chargers and Jaguars game, the wild card game, crazy comeback, right? Justin Herbert had a few chances to take the ball downfield, punch it in for a score, and just end it right there. Put the game away. Quite a few chances he had, and he didn't do it. I know Herbert's great, but can he take that next step? Is he able to take that next step? Is he able to take the Chargers to that next step? But to say that they have a losing record, I think it's fair. I think it's fair because, last year they did struggle with injuries, were really bad. The Chargers always get killed by injuries, but injuries were really bad. Mike Williams is always having injury issues. The offensive line had a lot of injury problems. Quentin Johnston, he's a bit raw. He's got a lot of work to do, but he can be a very good receiver. Keenan Allen's incredible. I like Joshua Palmer. I like Jalen Guyton. John Hightower, it's a good receiver, 5'6". There's a lot to like about what they have. But at the end of the day, can they take it to the next level? That's my big question. Can they stay healthy? And I think Herbert is suffering the same issues that Philip Rivers did. You're playing with a crappy franchise that always has a crappy coach. And that's one of the big reasons why I think Philip Rivers never made it, because you can only do so much as a quarterback. Yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of it is your responsibility. A lot of it is. A lot of it falls on the quarterback. It's just how the NFL is nowadays. But if you cannot, do the simple things right, like, if the defense can't stop the run and then they struggle against the passing game, if Justin Herbert and if his offensive line is horrible, how he's going to make big time plays and big time moments when you don't have much time left, when you need to take a shot downfield. There's so many and then the special teams. There's so many different elements to the Chargers team that is a recipe for disaster. It's just calling for another 9-8, 8-9 season. I don't see 10 wins unless they can get those things really figured out. Let's look at their chart real quick on their defensive side. Let's see. Morgan Fox, Joseph DeSebastian, that's not a bad pickup. Austin Johnson, defensive tackle. You do have Khalil Mack, who didn't look great last year. Eric Kendry is good at stopping the run. Kenneth Murray, I really like him. Joey Bosa. So you have a good defensive line, but they just struggle to stop that run. And it's a chain reaction. If you can't stop that run, the rest of your defense and the rest of your team is going to suffer. It's just how the NFL rolls. So, saying they have a losing record, I'm going to say it's unlikely just because they have a lot of nice weapons and they have a really good quarterback in Justin Herbert. But I'm not saying they're going to have 10, 11 wins. I'm saying they're just going to barely scrape by. My record prediction for the Chargers, 9-8. 9-8. No. Maybe let's not do the... No. Let's say 9-8, but if it's not 9-8, it's not 9 or more wins. I don't see it. Like I said, Herbert's a great quarterback, and he's going to make your team better regardless. But the Chargers are doing him a big disservice by having a pretty bad head coach, a pretty bad team around him. Herbert's incredible. He's a top 5 quarterback. But the team around him just sucks, and they suck in the spots that you can't afford to suck in. So, yeah, I'm going hot. No, I'm going warm. So, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Hot Take Tuesday, Season 2, Episode 14. Making some good progress. And last week, the episode was like 40 minutes long, and we had 7 people stick it out throughout the entire episode. We're killing it, man. I told you we're building something great. I told you. You believe in me. I believe in you guys. We are building this thing right from the ground up. And I know I've said that in a couple of videos so far, but I just love, the community that we built. I cannot be more proud of you guys and just, what we have built together. You guys have had a big impact on this as fans, as every show. Some people just don't take their fans like they should. And I like to look at you guys as like the bricks. Don't look at it as in a bad way. I'm not trying to make it sound like a bad thing. I'm looking at you guys on bricks, every single and it's like a object without feelings and stuff, so it doesn't sound good. But if you guys get what I'm trying to say, every single viewer represents a brick. And if your house, let's say a building or, anything you're building doesn't have a good foundation, doesn't have bricks. Well, let's just say a house or a building or something you're building, something big. If it doesn't have the bricks, the brick and mortar, it's nothing. There's nothing there. It's literally not existent. So without you guys, this is not existent. And I know I go out on a rant at the end of like every Hot Take Tuesday, every live about this stuff, but I appreciate it. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, this is like, I'm kind of like, I know we're nowhere near the dream, but it's like kind of like I'm living in the dream already. But I'm never satisfied. We're going to keep building. And we're going to keep building this the right way. We'll keep building this thing strong. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show and enjoying another episode of Hot Take Tuesday with me. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off. Oh, hold on. Before I sign off, really quick, as I was just saying, I almost forgot something very important. Oh, no, I don't have it on here. Okay, let's just replace it with this. So, I want to appreciate all the members that we have. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are incredible. But don't ever feel like you have to become a member. But if you do become a member, you get a little extra back because you're giving a little extra to me, and I appreciate it. But don't ever feel like you have to. But you're supporting the channel further, much more, and I really appreciate it. And because of that, you can get more back. You're literally enabling me to do more and support the channel and support the show. So this is officially it. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, and I am signing off officially.